This is Louis D. Fresh bringing it to you on a Sunday morning. The reason I'm trying to do this right now is because the sunlight is hitting really well on the fish tank that I'm actually going to keep. Just a quick update, Caro is working on my fish tank project. I think, as I adjust my little glasses here, I think they should be ready soon-ish, hopefully within next month or so, definitely before Christmas. So I'm excited about that, and I wanted to start this filter segment because I have a feeling, since the two new tanks are going to be 75-gallon tanks, one for fish and one for turtles, I think, underline the word think, there will be canister filters. And I've never used canister filters, I think. And I definitely want to do a separate video on those. But I want to start my little filter playlist with something that I've been using for years and years and years. They are called HOB filters, or hang in the back filters. You'll notice on my social media this past Thursday, I described what a HOB filter is. And I also describe what a filtration is for a fish tank in my social media for this past Tuesday. So let's jump right into it, shall we? We're going to be talking about today, and I saved the box purposely because I remember when I worked as a manager in a Williams-Sonoma back in 2017. People love their boxes, and people, where are your boxes? Where are the boxes? So I saved the box, and now I'm going to actually throw away the box now that I'm actually shooting this video, because I actually got this filter probably about a month ago. And the reason that I re-got this filter is because sometimes these filters do get clogged. And truth, I have not been very good at taking apart the bottom of it, which I'll show you in a little bit, and actually cleaning it out. But since that being the case, this is a relatively new one. And remember, the tank that I'm keeping is a 20-gallon long. And the 20-gallon long, very important when you're talking about filters. Always aim for filters that actually are large, that will filter more water than what you actually have. So my tank is 20 gallons. So I try to aim for 20 to 40 gallons or even higher, because you definitely want a higher power filter, because fish in general tend to be, because it is a closed system to a degree, it definitely needs more assistance. So this is what the box looks like. It does come with I completely forgot, because I was looking at the box. I completely forgot that it does come with a bio bag. That's the filter, and notice large, and I'm going to emphasize that in a little bit later on in the video. It does come with your instructions, and it comes with something that you can hang on the back as such, which I like, which is what I use. Or they give you the other option of using suction cups, which I personally don't like, because after a while, and especially since my fish tank are outside, they do kind of corrode, and then the tank is floating around. So that's just me. And also they have this thing which is relatively new. It's sort of a sponge, and I wanted to put a highlighter here. The reason, and I'm going to explain in a minute why I don't use this, is it because then you really do have to rinse it out, and I don't want to rinse it out, and I'll explain why in a minute. So here's my little Canva slide, Tetra internal power filter, 20 to 40 gallons, and I just show you the box. And so that is the start of our filter segment. The key positives to this type of filter is that because it is submersible, I really do like it, because it can go right into your water. It's quiet. It is really, initially it can be a little loud as it kind of gets used to being in a fish tank. Truth, it does. But after that, probably within a week, it is very, very quiet. And it's chemical, biological, and mechanical filtration. Again, look back on my social media on Thursday. I do explain how these filters are indeed they do filter in all three stages. They have a dual-sided mesh bag, which I'll show you. And it really, once we go outside, and you'll see it does definitely catch debris and fish waste. It really, 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 really does. And I'll show you, because I have to change my filter today. And so I wanted to show you how filthy it does get. With activated carbon, which I might as well, so you can hear it. You hear it? So there is filter in there. There is carbon in there. And it does also, it kind of avoids discoloration. But the discoloration referring to that cloudiness. You want ideally clear fish tank, so that's why I put that picture there. And in essence, that's what it does, and it really does help. And I'll show you. Hopefully, the sun is still gleaming there, and you'll see how pretty these filters leave the fish tank. Next thing, the bio scrubber. They used to have a bio scrubber in these filters, but now they have, as you see, because I wanted to just show you, they have a sort of a sponge. I don't like it. I use this for my turtle tank because I'm not so concerned about bacteria, so I can flush it out, but I prefer not to flush it out because that's why I kept the bio scrubber. It doesn't look exactly like that, but a bio scrubber, because the bio scrubber solid back allows water to flow evenly over bacteria rich bristles. The bristles are those little white things. Mine, which I'll show you in a second, is not necessarily white, that it really keeps the bacteria, which you really need, and that really keeps the fish happy and healthy. And so that's why I like the old version, because I try not to take it out of the water because I want to maintain that bacteria richness. And so that's why I don't use that. And I also, as I told you, I use the 20 to 40 gallon filter because it flushes the water more readily. And also I just use the large Whisper bio bag. And I wanted to show you, this is something I took off the internet, truthfully, but I wanted to show you here. It says medium, and I did that purposely, and I left it there purposely because just because you say, oh, it's a bio bag, hey, that's the filter. No. Notice the size. It's really important that you always notice, because you see here on the box, again, the box, it says here, use the large cartridge. You'll notice here it says medium, and I don't want people to make the mistake and say, oh, look, I found it, and get the medium when it's actually the large. So pay attention to that detail. And also I put this here purposely for the second reason, because this is how I order them, truthfully. I ordered it off of Chewy.com, and I buy them by 12, and again, plug in Chewy.com because I think they're great. The 12 pack, because it saves me money, because here you see it is it's assembled. Here it's assembled, but here you will have to hold on. I'm going to take a quick commercial break because my computer, it doesn't need to get tuned up, and honestly I've been negligent on that. So it's almost done, and then we'll let it reboot, and then we'll go outside. But while it's rebooting, I wanted to also explain to you that in the filter, I also add something else, the ammo carb, I think, or the zeolite, Zeolite. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. The reason is that I add it is because my fish are outside, and it does help with keeping down the ammonia. Because I have to be honest, you have frogs jumping in there. I'm serious. You have lizards pooping in there, birds, fecal matter flies in there from time. So I really try to keep that as clean as possible by adding that Zeolite. And I did mention it in a previous one when we were talking about just in general, just trying to keep the water clean. Oh, ammonia, that's what I was talking about. I remember we were talking about pH. I have to remember what we were talking about. Okay, I think we're back. So as I had just mentioned, that's why I get the large 12 pack, because it does save me money, and I'm able to just, that is where the right here, that's where the little carbon is. And I try not to, when I have to take apart, I have to throw away the carbon inside the filter bag. But you see that plastic one? I know it's kind of blurry, but that plastic right there, which I'll show you in a second, it's blue in my tank. I never rinse that off because, again, of the bacteria. So that is how I buy these bio bags, and off of Chewy.com again. And last but not least, before we go outside, as I X out of there, is it says here, according to the instruction manual, which is right there, we replace the filter cartridge every 4 weeks. And honestly, I replace it every 2 weeks because of my situation. Every tank, every ecosystem is a little different. So see what your ecosystem does and what it needs. But I change mine every other week. And so to change the filter, unplug the filter. Truthfully, I'm not gonna lie. Remove and replace the cartridge bag. I throw it in a garbage bag in a big garbage bag because it's wet and messy and gross, and replug the filter. And you'll see that I love it. That's why I try not to edit, because I like to be as raw as possible. And you saw rawness there. And I think I forgot to press a button. But that's all right. Everything's good. I want to show you how big also my plants are getting. I want you to see, remember my hibiscus? Remember, I'm sitting down. See how high it is? I mean, it is completely out of control. I have it wrapped up and tied up and all kinds of things. And my bird of paradise, remember, these are the children of the main one. I had to cut down the main one because it was so big. And look at the children of the bird of paradise. It's just ridiculously big. And here, that was just a little preview there. And I noticed I did get some new plants, which I'll eventually talk about in my little plant segment. But you see, I wanted to do it right now because you see how clear that water is. See, and that's also, which we're going to talk about eventually, I had to change my fish. The swordtails just weren't cutting it. So eventually we'll talk about what I have in here. And a short version is I have cherry barbs, and I have feeder guppies, and one what do you call that thing? Ay Dios mío, it'll come to me later on, the type of guppy that is. I only have one of them in there because he's quite feisty, and I can't think of his name right now, but when I eventually talk about them, I will. So, we'll talk about eventually how you need to realize that you just can't fight water and your city water, and so I decided not to fight the city water. And so this is what it looked like. And also, I have a flower here from here that fell in here, and I didn't take it out purposely, so you can see I do have all kinds of nonsense coming in here. I do have a hole there, and I have lizards jumping in here. I do. And so that's why I changed this filter twice a month. Now, as I stand up, right, you'll see the good filtration here. It's really good. You see very, very clear how it is. Very, very clear. See how clear it is, right? Right? You see it? And I want to show you, here's the bio scrubber that I was referring to. You see how it's nice and green and kind of gross and all that? Well, you notice how I'm holding it too. I really don't want to mess with the bacteria. There, you can't see it, but there's tons of bacteria going on right there. All right? So, that also being said, this is the plastic I was talking about right here. That when I take this out, I don't get rid of I don't rinse out this plastic, this blue. The reason I don't rinse out the plastic is because, again, bacteria is alive and well there. You see how kind of gross it is? That's important, and I wanted to show it to you. And notice I did clean my fish tanks on a Friday. Today is Sunday. The reason I'm changing this filter when I do is that because there is bacteria. So when I put the new water in here, right, I want to make sure that this bacteria, sounds weird, that you see how the crap is flying around now because I lifted it up. This is important. All that debris is important to the tank because that is the bacteria that is necessary for the fish tank. And so what I would suggest is you don't change the filter until 1 or 2 days after you do the water change, or 1 or 2 days before you do the water change, because the bacteria is very delicate and you have a very delicate cycle. And so I think that is a very, very important detail. Do not change the filter when you change the water. They should be done on 2 separate days. And, I want to show you that nice water flow there. See that really, really nice water flow. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, you see I have it on here like a hang on the back thing. And I prefer rather than the suction. And I may drop it, but I may not. I want you to notice this is really what you should be cleaning out and rinsing out, because there are screws under here. And you see that's the sound when it first starts up. And then once it really kind of gets rolling, it really does quiet down. It may take a couple of days, but you'll see it's really, really quiet. So I really like these filters. And you see I kind of made a little bit mess here, but that's all right, because once I put in the new filter, within an hour, it will be crystal clear again. And so I hope you enjoyed my little segment. Let me stand up. I hope you enjoyed my little segment. I know it went on a little longer than I expected. I think it's important because I think it's a super duper great filter, HOB, a hang in the back filter. You can also get that from Chewy, Amazon, go for your pet store. Nowadays it's super easy to get these things. And they're nice and easy, nice and simple. And hopefully soon I'll be getting these new fish tanks, and I'll be doing some more exploration on canister filters, or who knows what God was going to put in there. So that's it. Have a great day.